Coming up on Chasing the Natty, we're going to have some fun today and play The Price is Right CFF Edition. We have two awesome contestants today in Nate Marchese and Chris K, and we'll see which one has a better grasp on the ADP of CFF this year in 5 rounds of fun and games. All this and more coming right after this.
Zappy looking to Jared Stearns, who makes the catch and scores.
What a burst! Trey Henderson, as advertised, touchdown Buckeyes!
This is Chasing the Natty, a college fantasy football podcast.
All right, welcome in everybody. This is Jared Palmgren, host of the Chasing Natty podcast. I hope you guys are having a wonderful ride to your work on this Monday morning or Tuesday morning or whatever morning you happen to listen to Chasing Natty throughout the week. I know some people, you may not get around to this until like Thursday or Friday. It's okay. My feelings are not hurt. But we got an awesome show ahead for you guys today. We're gonna have some fun today. It's kind of the doldrums of the off season. It's like right before all the camps and stuff start kicking off and everything like that. And so I figured now is the perfect time to just, again, have a little fun. We're going to play a game today. And to do that, I have two awesome guests on here today that are going to be competing against each other. And that the first of which is Mr. Nate Marchese. Nate, how you doing today, sir?
Oh, not too bad. Fighting my way through a little bit of a hangover here for my wife's birthday party last night. But for the most part, not too bad.
Hey, happy birthday to your wife.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And then the other guest we have on here today is Mr. Chris K, the newest member of the Campus to Canton team over here. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But Chris, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Got a round of golf in and enjoying some sun. It's a little too sunny, but a little too hot. But I'm going to be inside the rest of the day, so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, down here in Savannah, it's been like cloudy hot. So like it's not been too bad. Because, again, it's just been overcast constantly. But today and yesterday, like, the sun actually peeked out. Anytime it actually peeked out from behind the clouds, I just realized how much hotter it got as soon as you actually could see the sun. I basically forgot what the sun felt like. I also got to visit Tybee Island Beach yesterday for the first time. So that was pretty nice. I like Tybee. But even still, I also got screwed. Again, I was talking to these guys before the show and everything. I got screwed by the Cosmos out of $70 a day when it comes to my car because I got pulled over and both my taillights were out. And so they gave me a warning, which was fine. And then I went over to an auto parts shop, got some new bulbs. We replaced them. The guy told me that the new replacement bulbs didn't fix the problem. And we checked the third light. The third light was still on, so that meant that it wasn't a switch problem. So he basically told me, he said, hey, go on over to like a garage, get them to run a diagnostic, and they'll be able to help you out. I'm like, alrighty, fine. This is probably going to cost me a fortune. So I go over to the garage, and I get in there, and they're like, all right, we're going to run a 30-minute diagnostic. It's going to be like $70. I'm like, alrighty, fine. They run the 30-minute diagnostic, and they come back to me, and they say, by the way, it was just your bulbs. All your bulbs need to be replaced. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I'm like, you're still going to charge me the $70 for this? And they're like, yep. And I'm like, so this should have cost me $7, but now I'm paying $70 for all of this. It's just been a great day.
It could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse with the ticket.
It could have been worse, man. A diagnostic could have gone way worse. So
right.
It's not the greatest of situations, but
that can run up to several $100s very quickly. But even so, yeah, no, I'm not a car guy. I do love my car, but I like basically anytime something's wrong with it, I'm just like, I throw my hands up. I'm like, I have no clue what I'm doing here.
What do you drive, Jared? I gotta know.
Hyundai Sonata. It's a 2015 model.
Yeah.
So,
okay. What about you, Nate? You rock a truck or what?
No. I actually drive a Hyundai Elantra.
Hey, I love the Elantra.
The Hyundai family, yeah. I got a Grand Cherokee, so I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But
I like Cherokees.
I like a Hyundai. That's not a bad choice.
Yeah, the only problem with the Hyundais is apparently they got big problems with their oil. They burn oil very, very quickly, especially once you get up to like 90,000 miles on them. Like last time that I went to get my oil changed, they said I had like less than a quarter of a quart of oil left in my thing, even though I just got my oil change back when I was supposed to. So I got to keep an eye on it. All right, so I think we can basically get into the bulk of today, but even still, got a few housekeeping notes to get through here. First of all, if you haven't already, go check out the CFF guide. It is available on campusofcanton.com. Myself, Nate Marchese, and Chris Moxley worked our butts off to get that out to you guys. 131 team breakdowns for every team in the FBS. We got breakdowns for, let's see if I can remember this off the top of my head, 36 quarterbacks, 48 running backs, 60 wide receivers, and 24 tight ends, and rankings for each of those that go even deeper than that. We got Nate's awesome 50 freshman profiles for a bunch of guys that could possibly get work this very first year. And then in addition to that, you got some additional stuff like a sample mock draft in there based entirely off of June ADP. And you can also find some analytical talk from Chris Moxley, who has put together some awesome graphs for us for you guys to check out in there. Nate, you worked on the guide. What would you say was your favorite part of working on the guide?
Well, probably putting together the team breakdowns, really. It was an extra opportunity for me to take an even deeper dive into each team that I worked on, and just allowed me to find some things that, uncover a few things that I hadn't really even thought about or come across up to this point in the season. So just, guys with dual eligibility as far as their position, and guys that the coaches have been talking up a little bit in the spring that I wasn't aware of, those types of things. So yeah, it's I feel like it's crazy amount of information that we put into that. And so, I think for CFF as well as C2C could be really beneficial. So yeah, really
absolutely.
About how it turned out.
Yeah, 230 pages for only $20. I consider that the steal of the offseason. Nate, you mentioned a lot of little nuggets and everything you kind of threw in there. What's one little nugget you can kind of give as a teaser here for everybody listening that hasn't bought the guide already, so they can understand what else they can kind of find there?
Obviously one of the main projects that I did was the impact freshmen, the 50 impact freshmen. I think the interesting thing, and I talked about this with you guys on Slack, the interesting thing that I came across as I did that was, I think there are 5 Arizona Wildcats. Yep. So 10% of my impact freshman 50 consists of Arizona Wildcats, which, like I said, it makes sense because they did such a good job of recruiting the skill positions. And it's obviously a roster that, those players can show up and contribute right away because there's just not much ahead of them on the depth charts. And they haven't had this influx of talent in a long time. So it was a really big time class that they got. And it just happened to be a lot of skill positions that were their highest rated guys. So I think that's pretty interesting. They're a team that could take off in the next couple of years offensively.
I think it's definitely fun to look out for. And again, I think the quarterback you had listed there was a smaller guy, but I think it's going to be like, if you go back and watch the spring game, and you'll see pretty much every guy that Nate's talking about in that spring game. Pretty much part of the reason why I think we put them as instant impact guys. Chris, you are the newest member of the Campus to Canton team. You are going to be helping run our college DFS content for this season. Can you give everybody an idea of what all that's going to be involved and what kind of content you're going to be making?
Yeah, I think between Brandon and Ethan and myself, we're going to try to do a podcast each week or a recording of some kind, right? A show. And then I think we're looking at, obviously, I'm going to be putting out at least one article, maybe 2, just depending on timing. And I think the great thing is we can look at just like your typical great DraftKings plays, FanDuel plays, but something that's gotten really huge these days is Prize Picks. Mm-hmm. You talk to Bainbridge and Froton and all those guys, that's where they made their money last year. There's such an edge to it if you can get it early. So I think we're going to really try to put out content about that as soon as the lines come out. And those are fun. You don't have to worry about beating a guy that's rostering a 1% owned receiver that has 4 touchdowns, right? That's just the nature of the beast in college football, right? Is huge upside at random guys potentially. And I think with Prize Picks, which is really fun, you just pick a over-under type situation. You can get pretty crazy and creative. I know, Jared, you were super into it last year. I was as well.
Oh yeah.
and you can win some good money with it still too if you do it right and you have fun with it. So yeah, we're looking at just your typical DFS stuff with Prize Picks involved as well, and just gonna have some fun with it for sure.
Yeah, I've definitely gotten to the Prize Picks game with it as well. I love just kind of making one or two bets to start each Saturday, and then just kind of checking it at the end of the day and seeing if I earn myself a little extra money just on the week. It's good fun stuff. And what was that, Nate?
Oh, I was gonna say, do they ever change the lines on the Prize Pick
They
stuff?
do.
They move,
if they do. Okay, I was gonna say, I was curious if early in the week people are just hammering something, if all of a sudden it'll change.
Yeah, it will.
Yeah, it definitely does. Yeah,
Okay.
I remember talking to Mike and one of my other buddies, not affiliated with anybody, and they'll put some money on stuff, and I don't know how much action they get, but it's just like with DraftKings, right? Like once somebody hammers a line or does one or the other, like it definitely moves a little bit. You can get some outrageous numbers if you hit it immediately, especially DraftKings. I know, like if you're like into sports betting, it's not legal in Georgia. I don't know about you, Nate, in Oklahoma, right? Like Kansas. Like I don't know if it's legal, but like I know Mike used to just right when it comes out, he like always, I'm sure he scheduled some fake meeting every Tuesday at 1 to make sure he was there for it. But you can get some really soft lines because DraftKings doesn't know what they're doing compared to guys like Mike, Froton, us,
Mm-hmm.
So
they just passed in Kansas for it to be legal. So this will be the first year it'll be available here.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? It's actually probably a good thing that it's not legal for me.
No,
I would lose so much money on betting on on Michigan to cover and stuff. It'd be bad.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Chris, because like Prize Picks supposedly like knows like where you're at and everything. So like if it's not legal here in Georgia, then how am I picking for Prize Picks? Because I'm able to do
Prize Picks is fine. Prize Picks is fine because it's technically like DFS.
Yeah. Okay.
It's actually, they're located in Atlanta over by Lennox.
Okay.
One of my buddies, Dylan Cooper, who's he's pretty out there on Twitter and stuff like that. He used to write for like Daily Roto and stuff back in the day. He works for them. He's pretty like decently high up, and they're located over there at that like Lennox and 400 location. So it's like it's DFS,
right?
Yeah,
it's loopholes.
Yeah, semantics.
Gotta love it. Alrighty, with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the bulk of today's show. We are going to be playing The Price is Right just with college fantasy football in mind. So instead of actual dollars and everything, we're going to be focusing on some ADP. We're going to find out just how much Nate and Chris understand the ADP. We will be playing Honor System. Boys, I can't see your computer screen, so you guys better not have the ADP pulled up from the website. I'm watching you. But even still, how The Price is Right works, if you've ever been on, or if you've ever watched the show, or if you haven't watched the show, is there are several rounds per episode, and what typically happens is each round starts off with like a bid. They'll bring out a object, and all the contestants will try to bid as close as they can to how much that item is worth. If they go over, they're out. It's kind of like blackjack. So if they go higher than the price, no, that's false. Scratch all that. They're just trying to get as close to the item as they possibly can. A lot of times you'll see people bet really high, and then one person will bet like 1 cent because they're trying to get below everybody. But even
I think you can't go over.
You can't go over
the
initial guess.
Bid. Yeah, that's why people bet like $1 because they think everybody else in the group has gone over, and $1 should win it because they'd be the only one.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're just going to do closest to the ADP for our bidding today, just to make it simple and everything. So we'll start with that. Whoever gets closer gets first crack at each mini game. Each mini game, the first person is going to have the opportunity to win either 5 points, 2 points, or 0 points. If they win the 5 points, then the other person does not get a shot at the mini game, and we just move on to the next round. If they win 0 or 2 points, they'll get the amount of points that they get, and the other contestant will then be able to have a shot at the mini game, going for either 3, 1, or 0 points. So there is a reason to win the bidding because you get an opportunity on more points, but at the same time, the other person still gets a shot. So does that make sense to both of you guys?
It does, but I do want to. I gotta ask: are we playing Plinko at any point today? Because Plinko is the best.
You're gonna have to find out, Chris. So, alrighty, I guess we'll go ahead and get into round one. Chris and Nate, there is a chat function on the Zoom that we are using. Go ahead and switch that over to where it only sends it to me. If you can. I forgot to explain this to y'all before we got started. I'm sorry.
No, this is actually a great idea. Do we have to guess like the round or like are we doing like 12 round? Or are we doing 12.05?
The raw ADP. So you'll
like
be
overall number.
Overall number. So like if somebody goes at the end of the second round, you'll be guessing like 24.
Okay, perfect.
Sound good to everybody?
So positional doesn't matter. It's just overall.
Positional does not matter. It's just overall. Okay. We'll get into positional stuff.
In time of us entering the information, it does not matter either.
No, it does
Obviously.
not.
It's not it's not like Jeopardy where it's like the first one.
Yes. Now, if you guys both put in the same one, I'll go with the person who put it in first. Does that sound fair?
That makes sense. Yeah.
So, I'm going to give you guys a player, and you will give me your guess at ADP. We're going to start with a relatively high player here, so just kind of ease you guys into this. We're going to go Cedric Tillman, wide receiver out of Tennessee. Go ahead and enter your ADP guesses whenever you are ready.
Is this overall ADP or like June ADP?
But this is June ADP. That is a good question. This is June ADP that everything today will be based off of.
I'm very nervous right now. It's like I'm sure one of the easiest ones, but I'm still very nervous to see what Nate said.
Alrighty. So, I should probably close that chat. All right, sorry about that. All right, so Chris, you put 14. Nate, you put 15. The actual answer is 18.2. Mm-hmm. And so, Nate, you were closer. You were off by 3.2. Chris, you were off by 4.2. So, we're going to get into our first game here, and that is going to be the game called Any Number. So, how this game works is that there are 3 players on the board. And again, I will mention, by the way, if you're listening to this on podcast, I will do my absolute best to describe what is going on. But I do kind of recommend you go over to the YouTube page and watch with all the graphics and everything so you can have a better visualization as to what's going on. So what's going on here is that there are 3 players on the board. For Nate, you're going to be working with Phil Dracovic, Zach Kuntz, and Zachary Evans. You are trying to guess, you pick a number between 0 and 9, and that 0 and 9 will then be put up on the board. You are trying to guess the 4 numbers that go into Phil Dracovic's ADP. Okay. Every single number is on this board somewhere, so you will not have any that will be like, oh, it's just not up there.
Gotcha.
So, Nate, go ahead and give me your first number you want to put up there.
So I'm picking the first number in the row of boxes there for Jacoby.
You are trying to pick any of the numbers that you think are involved with Phil Dracovic's ADP.
Oh, okay.
So if you don't want to fill out the rest of them because then you get that point. Like if you filled out Zach Kuntz before Dracovic, then you get 2 points. 2 points. This is, by the way, this is awesome. This looks great.
Thank you. Thank you. I tried to match the graphics as much as the actual game shows I could.
All right. I'll go with 1, I guess.
All right, we're going with 1. And that is the first number in Phil Dracovic's ADP.
Okay. I will go with, geez, this is a lot of math in my head that I'm having to do right now. Hungover. This sucks. This reminds me of college. Let's go 8.
Going 8. That is the second number in Zach Kuntz's ADP. So you got 1 in Dracovic and 1 in Kuntz's.
Okay, so is that good for me?
You haven't gotten any in Zach Evans yet.
You just don't want to add Evans because you get no points. If you get Kuntz, though, then I have an opportunity to get Dracovic.
Oh, okay.
With added numbers already.
Let me be clear. No, Chris, you'll have your own. You'll have your own set of guys.
3, 2, 1. Perfect. Awesome.
You'll have your own set of guys.
Okay, then let's go 9.
9. That is another number in Phil Dracovic's ADP.
Okay. Let's go 6.
6. It's their first number in Zachary Evans' ADP.
Okay, let's go 7.
7. You got 3 out of the 4 for Phil Dracovic so far.
Okay. Let's do 2.
2. And that is another number for Zach Kuntz.
Okay. Let's do 3.
And that is the final number for Phil Dracovic's ADP.
Nice.
Phil Dracovic with an ADP of 179.3. I'm curious, Nate, if you hadn't gone 3, which one would you have gone next?
0.
Going 0. Where's my 0? There it is. And that would have been another one for Zach Evans. So Nate, with the 5 points on the first round, taking a commanding lead. And unfortunately for Chris K, that means he will not have his own opportunity here to try to win himself some points. So
It's gonna be a long day.
Nate
Nate's
with
hot
a,
right now.
I'm gonna have you adore me here pretty soon. I'm gonna wrap this thing up quick.
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and go into the second round here. And the player that you guys are going to try to guess is running back out of Minnesota, Muhammad Ibrahim.
Oh my gosh, that's a good one. If we're one away again this time, Nate, then you got to get out of. You're in my closet or something. I don't know about it.
Alrighty, let me grab my calculator here real quick, because both of you. Actually, no, I know who's closer.
Close again?
Okay. You guys weren't close this time. It wasn't quite as close. Muhammad Ibrahim has an ADP of 54.2. Chris, you said 84. Nate, you said 65. So Nate, you were much closer.
Yeah.
But Nate,
I figured 7th round. Man, dang, that's
yeah,
tough.
he's been going high recently. Again, people are starting to push back up on him because I guess they realize that it's him, Potts, Bryce Williams, and Zach Evans. Somebody's got to get the share there. So
hey, anytime you can get a guy coming off a Achilles injury, you got to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
High priority.
You got to push him up.
Absolutely.
Give me all the Achilles, all the Liz Franks, all all that's exactly
especially if he's your first running back off the board, and there's just no opportunity for maybe grabbing a safer guy ahead of him. Absolutely should pick him up there. All right, we'll move on to the second one. This second game is not one from the show, but I thought it'd be kind of fun to do it. But I call it the people versus the experts, and this game is all about trying to figure out whether the experts are higher or lower than the ADP ranking. So this is the one game where we're not focused on the raw number, we're focused on the positional ranking. So what is going to happen here, Nate, is you have 3 guys here listed. In order to earn points, you have to get 2 out of the 3 right. If you get 2 right, you get 2 points. If you get all 3 right, you get 5 points. And if you get 1 or 0, you get 0 points. So Nate,
I'm feeling confident about this one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna ice Chris out again.
Yeah, I'm
feeling pretty good.
I'm gonna go 10-minute break. I'll see you guys.
So Nate, Adrian Martinez has an ECR at QB 23. What do you think his ADP ranking is lower or higher than 23? So if we say lower, we would say like 24, higher 22.
Right. Yeah, I think the general public hates Adrian Martinez, so I will say lower.
Alrighty, gonna take your little token here.
I'm sure I'll hate him too at some point in October. So,
and then I'm gonna put on lower. All right, Jalen Wayne is your next one up here. Is his overall ADP ranking or for wide receivers lower or higher than wide receiver 59?
Yeah, I think the general public doesn't have a clue who Jalen Wayne is for the most part. So I will say the general public drafts him well after wide receiver 59. So lower on that one as well.
All righty.
Yeah, that's a good call.
So now for the final one, we have Travis Dye, running back out of USC. ECR running back 29. Is his ranking higher or lower than RB29?
He gets drafted before RB29. I will say higher.
Alrighty.
Lot of BTR listeners out there, so I would agree with that one.
Sounds good. All right,
I feel like C2C people take him higher than CFF guys do too for some reason. I don't know why.
That feels weird. That feels opposite. I feel like he's just going to crush in college and do nothing moving forward. But
right.
All right, we're going to find out if Nate was correct on these or not. So answer cover number 1 coming off the board here. You are correct on Adrian Martinez. ECR quarterback 23. His ADP is quarterback 35. So you're correct on being lower there. Jalen Wayne, ECR wide receiver 59. His ADP is wide receiver 68. So you are correct there. And then Travis Dye, ECR running back 29. His ADP running back 27.
Ah, yeah.
So very close, but all 5 points go to Nate there. Chris, I feel a little bit bad for you, so I'm going to go ahead and let you have. I'm going to let you
give him a shot.
Yeah, let me get a chance to talk here. That's what everybody's coming for, right?
Exactly. So I'm gonna let you play. In the spirit of the game,
this is a bad idea.
I will let you have a shot here. So let me switch over to the other board here. Oh shoot, I am a dummy. I hope you didn't see all that.
I'm staring straight at your face just to avoid it.
Sounds good. All right, Nate probably sucked up all of those. But anyway, let's have you play around here, Chris. All right, so you got Jacob Cowling, wide receiver out of Arizona. His ECR is wide receiver 31. Is his ranking higher or lower than wide receiver 31 for ADP?
He's in the top 30. So whatever. What was that, higher?
Yeah, that would be higher. So
top 30, yeah, higher.
Let me move that up to higher. Alrighty. Tay McWilliams, running back out of Baylor. His ECR is running back 35. Is his ADP lower or higher than that? By the way, while Chris is thinking, let me just explain. ECR is expert consensus ranking. ADP is average draft position. So ECR is how all of us feel about him. ADP kind of is more of how all the people in general drafting feel about him.
I'll go lower. If Dye is 27, he's definitely lower than 35. He's like probably 40 or 41 or something. Although I think he should be closer to 35.
Fair point. All right, the final one here is Brant Cuthie, tight end out of Utah. His ECR is tight end 12. Is his ADP higher or lower than tight end 12?
I'll go higher. He's got to be top 10, right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think he should be, but he is.
He just gets used enough that, like, at the tight end position, I can understand why people love it. But
so, Chris, I'm going to give you the if you get all of them right, you'll get the 3 points. If you get 2 of them right, you'll get the 1 point. And if you get 1 or 0 right, you'll get no points. So, first one off the board here, Arizona wide receiver Jacob Cowling, ECR wide receiver 31. He is going off the board as the wide receiver 17 in drafts. So you got 1 correct there, Chris.
Do you like that, Nate? Do you like him as a top 20 receiver? I don't, personally.
No, I'm not. Like I said, that offense, I think, has a chance to be good in the next couple of years.
He's going in the same tier as a guy like Marvin Mims or like a Stephon Cobb sometimes, and to me, that's far too rich. I'd much rather have Cobbs or Marvin Mims.
I'm gonna need to see that offense from the talent is there, but from a play caller perspective, I'm just gonna need to see more before I'm willing to invest like top 20 positional capital. And it just seems a little steep to me.
All right, so next
he's
one
good.
Up,
he's
good.
Player,
he's
though.
a great player.
Yeah, he's really skilled.
And he's smart. He went to a spot that like is great for him. Like, right? He's not like Isaiah Nayer who went to Texas,
or
which
Corey
is still
Rucker
cool,
who
but
went
like
to South Carolina.
It's just not ideal. But
So next one up here, we got Tay McWilliams, running back out of Baylor. His ECR is running back 35. His ADP is running back 45. So you got it on the lower there. And then Brant Cuthie, tight end out of Utah. And again, I think we all agree that we're all closer to the 35 than the 45. Tay McWilliams is a good value in most drafts. You guys agree with that?
No, I'm much closer to 45.
You're closer to 45?
Like,
I'm outside of 45. I'm probably the only reason why his ECR isn't in the 20s is I'm probably dragging that down, to be honest with you. I don't know where I have him, but I promise you it's not inside the top 40.
So do you think they go committee there, or you got somebody else you're keeping your eye on there, Nate?
I do think that it is a good offense. It is a good offensive line. So he's one that I've just been waffling back and forth on. I do think that Craig Squirrel Williams is going to get some run. I do think that they like the freshman that they brought in. I don't know. I can't. Totally
young quarterback.
Jump on board with him.
I think like the counterpoint would be young quarterback. Like Shapen, I think is like pretty good, like just generally speaking. They lost a lot offensively with all their receivers and running backs and stuff. So I think it would make sense for them to run a lot. And they, like last year, they did a great job of using 2 running backs. So like there's even like the worst case he's RB2 and he's still used a good bit. But yeah, I'm closer to 35. But I don't know. He's just kind of an out of nowhere name, which is always like hard to like get all in on or like really want. I can understand that.
That's why I kind of like him in that RB3, RB4 range.
I don't know if he's any good. That's the thing. I haven't seen enough of him. He wasn't like highly touted recruit or anything like that. He does. I mean, the fact that Bohannon moves on, there's going to be more touchdown opportunity there. So that's something definitely working in his favor.
True. And we did see Abram Smith and Tristan Ebner both be CFF relevant at times last year. Yeah. So if all of that work kind of gets consolidated into one guy, I think very much you want to take a look at that. Final one here for you, Chris. Brant Kuthi, tight end out of Utah. ECR is tight end 12. His ADP, tight end 9. So you got all 3 correct, Chris. And so you get your 3 points there. Question, do y'all want to go back to any number, give Chris his opportunity there, and see if we can get him some more points, or y'all want to just keep moving?
I think it'd be a fun game to go to, depending on how long this goes, because I think that was like a really cool game. But I don't need the pity points. I want to beat Nate straight up. I want to beat Nate straight up. So I don't need him right now. Maybe later. Check back in with me in 20 minutes.
I'll check back with you if it's like really close at the end. Alrighty. Real quick, by the way, Brant Kuthi. Are we all kind of in agreement that I personally would rather just wait a couple rounds and take Dalton Kincaid over Brant Kuthi?
I would.
Yeah, I think like tight end's a weird spot. Like I think there's probably 3 guys that are elite, Trigg being that third one, and Kuntz is like really close. Like I think Trigg's upside is ridiculous, but he's got more risk, and then Kuntz's upside is not as much, but he's way safer. Oh, yeah. And then it's just like a big grouping of like good tight ends, and I'd rather just like let everybody do it, and then I'll take the last of them is what I'm thinking. So
yeah, the more I look at tight ends, the more I'm thinking boom or bust. Okay. I want to go with a boom guy, a guy that can really has potential to be a top 5 guy. And if he's not, and he's a total bust, I'll just, I'll drop him and move on to somebody else in the season. We've seen enough of Brant Kuthi to know that he's not a top 10 guy. Like he's going to be 12 to 15. Like I wrote him up. I did the Utah write-up, and I mean, he's like the last 3 years, he's been between 12 and 20 every single year. I mean, that's what he is.
Yeah.
And while I do think that offense is going to be better passing the ball, I don't think the ceiling is there for him to be a top 10 guy.
It's weird because they've had nobody at receiver for years, right? Like they've been very run heavy, but they've also been too tight end heavy, it feels like. Right. But like, how do you have like a tight end 15 type year early for Kuthi, and then all of a sudden, like you just keep doing it? It's just very interesting because like where else are the points going? But like that's just how their offense is. It's very weird.
If one of those 2 were to get hurt, then
the other one
you probably are looking at a big bump for the guy that's left remaining there.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and move on to the third round here. Score update real quick. That is temporary. Nate, you got 10 points. Chris, you have 3. Again, Nate's been absolutely nailing the last 2 games, so we'll see if that streak continues here. The next game, or first of all, let's do the betting. The next player that you guys are going to bid on here is going to be Mr. Isaiah Nayor, wide receiver out of Texas. Go ahead and lock in your ADP guesses now.
I have zero grasp on where he's going because I just have straight ignored him.
Alrighty. So, Nate, you entered 93. Chris, you entered 98. Isaiah Nayor's ADP is 79.8.
Who is taking him 79.8?
That puts him...
Good Lord.
That puts him in like the middle of the 7th round.
Oh, boy. Give me in those leagues. I said to myself, okay, I think he's probably like a 9th rounder. And I was like, you know what? I was like thinking like 108. And I was like, let me just reduce it 10 just to like...
Just to be safe.
See, not enough. I didn't reduce it enough.
Not like you need another 20. So Nate, once again, you are going first on this game. And you are going to have first crack at this game. And then, Chris, you will also get a shot at this to earn probably lesser points. So... Unless Nate absolutely flops here. So we will see. Next game we have up here is called Pathfinder. So how this game works is, if you're listening on podcasts, is we have a 5x5 grid of random numbers, but out of these random numbers, you can create the ADP of the player that I will give you by just going either left, right, up, or down. There's no diagonal movement here. So you start in the middle at 1. Both of these players are in the hundreds of ADP. And so you have to one by one guess the next digit of the player I give you. Now, you might be saying to me, that sounds really hard. Well, if you fail, you have 2 lifelines. And how those lifeline works is I'm going to give you a player and then give you 2 ADPs, and you have to tell me which one is their ADP. And if you get it right, you get to continue. If you don't, then you are done for the round. If you reach the end, if you get the full ADP without any lifelines, you get 5 points. If you reach the end with any of the lifelines, so like 1 or 2, you get your 2 points. And if you fail, like you run out of lifelines, or you just fail to get a lifeline, you will get 0 points, and the other person will take over. So Nate, you have the first one here. You have to guess the ADP of a guy that actually, it's funny that he's here, caused both of you a little strife the other day. Jabari Small, running back out of Tennessee.
Jesus, I have no idea where he's going.
Dang, this should have been me, man.
So
this should have been
Nate.
me.
All right, so he's...
So you have to guess
if I'm understanding correctly.
Yes.
Let's see here. Trying to pull the board back up. Okay, so if I'm understanding correctly, so he's in the hundreds, and he's either in the 190s, 150s, 140s, or 120s.
Yes, sir.
So I can only go up or down. Okay. I will say the next number is 5.
Nate goes over to the 5. Nate, you are correct. He is going in the 150s.
All right, so he's in the 150s. Okay.
So,
the next number, gosh, I'm gonna have to say on the low end of the one, or like, okay, so let's go 8.
All right, Nate going up to 158 for. Oh, I can't grab this. There we go. Got him. Couldn't grab the token. Regardless, Nate, you're incorrect. So you get to use one of your lifelines here. I will move you back to 150 here, or back to the 5 here. Your lifeline player here is Garrett Schrader. Okay. Is he going at 95.0 or 81.2?
I will say, let's see. I will say 95.
That is correct. You are safe.
All right.
You have used up one of your lifelines, but you've kept the other.
Okay.
And you can now take another choice.
Okay. Let's go 7.
All right, going 157. I grabbed the wrong thing again. God dang it. There we go. It's big. All right, you said 157. That is also incorrect. So you have one last lifeline here, and that is Mr. Malachi Corley. Is he going 79.6 or 88.4?
That's tough.
I will say he is going 88.4.
That is incorrect.
Oh,
Mr. Marchese, you are out of lifelines, and you are out of the game. You have earned 0 points. What's the line? It's like, I award you no points, and God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. I was like, we're coming straight with that, right?
Nate, after a commanding start, earns 0 points in the Pathfinder.
He's just a nice guy. Nate's just trying to be a giver.
Oh, yeah.
He's trying to include me.
So, Chris, it is your turn. You can earn up to 3 points by completing it without any lifelines. You can earn 1 point by completing it with lifelines, or you can join Nate in the 0 club. So
feels like a pretty good club, but I'll try to get some points.
So you have, your player is Mr. Will Levis, quarterback out of Kentucky.
And it starts with a 1. Shouldn't it start with like a 4?
It starts with a 1. 100 something.
Oh my gosh. This is the hard part, is deciphering between like what I think he should be versus
what he actually
is. So I'm going to go 2.
All right.
Feels like a 10th rounder.
Well, Mr. K, you are incorrect.
I guess that's good, because it means he's only going to get worse.
He's only going to get worse. So, Chris, your first lifeline here is Dylan Gabriel, quarterback out of Oklahoma. Is he going 48.0 or 58.2?
Man, you made that tough, huh? I was hoping you would say something ridiculous. 48 or 58?
Yeah, 48 or 58.
I'll say 58, but that doesn't feel right. I'll say 58.
You are correct, sir.
Oh man, I was.
You are correct, Mr. K. He is going 58.2.
There's been like it feels like a recent run, and I'm getting way more on board with it. Like, the more people keep talking about him, the more I'm like starting to get in on him. That's why I was thinking 48 to begin.
I need to still put all my leagues into a new sheet and everything. But I'm pretty sure Gabriel might be one of the most owned quarterbacks I have across all the best ball leagues that I'm in.
He was incredibly good last year, and then he got hurt. And I think that's what's like making his ADP lower than it should be, is because you forget how good he was. Like, he was insanely good until he got hurt.
Even in a Malzahn system
too. Right, yeah.
Yeah, if you can score with Gus, you can score with anybody. So,
alrighty, Chris. Again, you're back to the 100. The 2 was wrong. Where did you go from here?
So it's gotta be 4 or 5, right? Like, if people are just loving him, I'll say 4. All right. He went, while you're doing that, he went, I did this dynasty startup that was insane yesterday. He went 18th pick overall.
Oh, Jesus.
For some reason. I have no idea.
Well,
but I'm thinking 12th rounder. He's got to be a 12th rounder, right?
You are thinking 140. And you are correct on the first 2 digits. So 1-4. So now, Chris.
And now he's got to be 3, 7, or 8.
3, 7, 8.
I'll go 3, just because it's closer to people being ridiculous with their pick.
Alrighty. Chris, you are saying that the first 3 digits of his ADP are 143 point something, and that is correct. So now you are down.
I got to guess decimal point?
You got to guess decimal point here. So now you got to go down.
I'm going to say 9, because I'm hoping that you wouldn't have thought to do a 143.0. So I'm going to go 9.
Chris, you were saying his ADP is 143.9, and that is incorrect.
Jared, you were thinking 143.0.
So
I have to get the lifeline right?
Yeah, so your points come down to this right here, Chris.
Oh, boy.
Because, again, your only other option is 0. So if you get this, you just go to 0, you get the 1 point. But if you get this wrong, you get 0 points. So your lifeline here. Dontavian Wicks. Is he going 50.4 or 57.4?
50.4 or 57.4?
Yes, sir.
It's 50.4.
That is incorrect. So, Chris, you have 0 points out of the round. Nate, you also have 0 points out of the round.
You've pushed your UVA hate hard enough where people have gone low on them.
Me and Nate have been the chief propagandists against Virginia this offseason. So I'm happy with it.
He'd probably be a second rounder if we never brought him up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Should have never brought him up. That's on you guys.
I wish people would say I cheer when I'm in a draft every time he gets taken, and it's coming back to me. I'm like, thank God. But
is it possible to be
going further and further back?
I'm starting to get I took Wicks like early on in these drafts, like because we started drafting in February. But like, is it okay to be cool with Armstrong, but like anti Wicks at where he's at? Because it just feels like Armstrong has a ton of ways to score points, and Wicks is like one of 5 receivers and stuff that are available for them. That's just like my personal thought on it.
I'm more okay with that. I personally, I still think Armstrong's going too high for me. But again, the one Virginia player I am kind of investing in a little bit more, like especially in deeper drafts, is Lavelle Davis, because I just like the upside there. If he does become like their go-to red zone target, I'm totally cool with that. We saw Jelani Woods be very good in that role last year. So that's just kind of how I felt about it. What do you think, Nate?
I'm pretty much out on the whole Virginia offense altogether. Wicks, Armstrong, the whole bunch. But yeah, I mean, Armstrong clearly he's got receivers to throw the ball to between Thompson and Wicks and Davis and Kemp and all that. Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that offense is. I think it will be the biggest drop from last year to this year as far as just overall fantasy production.
Do you think they run it more with like their garbage slew of running backs, or do you think that like the
are you not a big believer in Cody Brown?
Not at all.
No.
Wayne Talalapa is gone, and that's just like it hurts me. Or do you think that like the offensive strategy is so bad, like he'll continue to pass a decent bit, but it'll just be like horrible ideas?
So combination of both. I want to say like their neutral game script pass rate was like, I don't know, 70% or something like that.
It was something insane.
Replicate what they did.
I think they had the second highest or third highest behind Leach and Kelly at Western Kentucky. But I mean, it's just, I do think they try to run the ball more. They probably won't be very successful with it. They're not very good running backs, and it's a wretched offensive line. But I also just don't think they're going to be as successful throwing the ball. I mean, they're still going to have to throw the ball some because they're going to trail in a lot of games. It's a bad play caller that they hired as OC whenever he was the play caller in North Carolina. Like, if you take a look at North Carolina State, whenever he was there the year before, they averaged like 29 points per game. He showed up, they averaged 19. He moved on. He was only there 1 year, and then they went back up to like 28 points per game.
19's so bad in college, by the way.
Right,
19 is just that's like Akron level of bad.
Yeah, and they actually, I was looking at their roster, and I was like, good Lord, how bad could NC State have been that year? And they actually had decent players. Like, they had, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, this isn't a bad group. Like, but yeah, and then obviously what Clemson looked like last year still
haunts like, everyone.
I'm like, man, how could they be that bad with a decent amount of talent in the ACC? So
I get it. I get it.
Sticks with me. But
I get it. What's the number that you would, both of you? I know Jared, you're like so anti, and I respect it because you guys have like a lot of good information and like opinions behind it. What's the number that you say I'll take Armstrong at? Like, what's the round? Where do you say, okay, enough's enough? I know that I don't love him, but like, I will take him here.
If this was a worse year for quarterbacks, I would probably like, if I went to like last year, I'd probably take him like after 10th round. I'd start considering him, but like, because quarterback
10th round
after quarterbacks are so deep this year, I still get guys I love coming out of the 10th round that I personally love more than Brandin Armstrong this year. Like, every pick is a good pick if it falls far enough to you, but there's no way I'm ever going to get Brandin Armstrong where he's going right now.
Yeah, there's no shot you get him. But yeah, what about you, Nate?
I have him at QB 25. So that being said, guys like Clayton Tune, Clay Millen, DeQuan Finn, Frank Harris, those guys would all have to be off the board in order for me to be like, okay, now's the time I'm going to pull the trigger on Armstrong.
I think I have him further down. I think I have him in like the 30s.
I mean, if you're 10th round, he's got to be way down that, right? He's got to be like in the late 30s, which is fair. I mean, you're never going to get him at that. Like Nate, you have a shot at getting him at QB 25 potentially, but
maybe.
Cool.
Alrighty, let's go into.
I got to stay on brand. I'm not, even if he's there in round 10, I can't go taking him. I got to stay on brand.
It's on brand.
Right.
It's the Andrew Katz theory is what it is. You know, like you just, if you're all in, you're all in. There's no, it doesn't matter what round. He's there in the 30th round. Nope.
Right.
No, fair enough. All right. 4th round here. Player that you guys are going to bid on here is Mr. Quinn Ewers, quarterback out of Texas. Got another Texas player for you guys. Quinn Ewers. What is y'all's bid on him? Send your message in the chat whenever you are ready.
You picked some good players here, by the way.
I try to pick some that have fluctuated a little bit.
Yeah, between the games and the initial. I got to win one. I got to get one, or I can't show face for like a week on Twitter.
Okay. So, Nate, you put in 59 as your ADP guess. Chris, you put in 44 as your ADP guess. Quinn Ewers in June of 2022 had an ADP of 48.0. So that means, Chris,
I'm in.
You are the winner for this, or you're not the winner for this round. You get to go first on this round.
I won the game, right? Like
the whole
show's
game.
over. Thanks everybody for showing up.
When you see what game we're about to play here, you're going to consider yourself the biggest winner of the entire day.
Is this Plinko?
It is Plinko.
Oh.
So we are going to play Plinko here. So Chris, you automatically get one. Okay. But you have an opportunity to earn more. Little cylinders to throw down the Plinko machine. How we are going to do that is this. There are 3 ADPs below. I'm going to give you a player, and you have to guess which ADP they are associated with. If you get it right, you get an extra Plinko ball. All right?
Okay.
You have an opportunity to get three more here, so you can get 4 total. So, first one I'm going to give to you. Sam Laporta. Is he going at ADP 93.4, 130.2, 101 or 101.4?
So basically, is he a 8th rounder, a 9th rounder, or a 10th, 11th rounder? I'll say 130.2. Yeah, 130.2.
That is correct. You have earned yourself an extra Plinko. So, Chris, the next player I have here, same ADPs. So I guess you can say you've processed some elimination here. Chris Thornton, wide receiver out of James Madison. Is he going 93.4 or is he going 101.4?
I have a question. Is Josh in this draft? That determines everything.
I would say he has probably been in about a third of these drafts.
Okay, so he's definitely not 130. So it's between the 8th and 9th round. I will go 101.4.
That is incorrect.
Is it 93?
I'm not going to say because you have one more Plinko to earn.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
You got Anthony Richardson is your player here. Is he going 93.4, 130.2, or 101.4?
Oh, man, I don't know if he's ever. Where does he usually go? I'll just say 101.4 again.
101.4 is correct.
They're both so close.
So you have earned yourself 3 Plinkos. You see the scores down there. You have 2 zeros. This X is no longer an X. It's a 0. So you have 2 zeros.
That's fine.
2 2s, and 1-5, you will get the highest one that you earn out of the 4 that you do. Actually, no. After each one, I will ask you if you want to continue or if you want to take the next one. So
Gotcha.
We'll
Do you have like a little thing? It's going to like drop it and everything?
Is.
This is amazing. This is why I thought Plinko wasn't going to happen. I didn't know C2C funded this type of graphic. So
deep pockets, man.
So, alrighty. Which one would you want to drop it down?
Well, I mean, my baseball number has always been 4, so let's start with 4.
We'll do 4.
Look at that thing go.
All right, 0 for the first one. Do you want to keep that?
I don't know. 0
like
feels pretty decent. No, let's redo it and let's start
3
with.
More, though.
Let's go with 2.
Go 2
or 2 more, right? Let's go 2. That works. Yeah. We're good.
All right, there's your 5. Would you like to continue, or would you like to?
I'm a glutton for punishment. Let's run it. No, I'll take the 5. I need it. Right. I need every bit of it.
So there's your 5 points. All right, Nate, we'll move over to you real quick. Whole new set of ADPs for you, Nate. You got 128.3, 108.6, and 98.4. I can't read. So Nate, your first player for you to guess their ADP out of these 3, Benjamin Urosek, tight end out of Stanford.
Let's do. Gosh, I've seen him go fairly high. I'm gonna go in the middle. Let's do 108.6 for you.
That is correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say that feels good based on Laporta, especially too. That feels good.
Yeah.
So next you have wide receiver Puka Nacua, wide receiver out of BYU, 128.3, 108.6, or 98.4.
Let's do. Let's do 128.3.
Yeah, that feels good.
That is incorrect.
Ooh. Jared pulling a fast one on us.
And then finally, you have Nate, probably one of our favorite guys right now. 50. What was that?
Said some Yardbird must have taken Puka Nacua in the top 50.
I love me some Puka personally, so that might have been me.
So, Nate, your last one here is one of our favorite guys that we're kind of rising a lot right now. Dedrick Parson, running back out of Hawaii.
128.3. Nobody's taking him.
He is the 128.3. So,
yeah, he's moving, man. You guys talked about him on some show a couple weeks back, and I looked at my stuff, and I was like, wait a second, like some validation there from people I like and I think are smart. Like this feels like a real pick, like a real good player.
Bob messaged me the other day. He mentioned as well where he was like, I can't believe I was missing on Parson like this entire offseason. Like, to be fair, again, dude, I didn't get on him until recently, and I'm just like, yeah, what are we doing here? This is like a perfect play.
Nothing has changed in the last 5 months, and we have taken this long to figure out that like he's like a really good best ball option.
Oh, absolutely. Because even if that Timmy Chang offense doesn't get up and running this year, like, Dedrick Parson is still a guy that's a mainstay. He's going to be a guy that you're looking at as, like, again, he'll get work regardless. All right, Nate, you have 3 to drop. Where do you want to drop your first one?
Let's drop it in the 2.
Drop it in the 2.
Oh, he's seen the C2C graphic. He knows what's coming.
And Nate hits 5 on the very first one. So, Nate, you get the 5 points there. Actually, no, you get the 3 because you got because I forgot to change this. Yeah, you got the 3 because you were the second person to go.
Sounds good.
There we go. We'll go back to our third person.
It's mathematics at this point. I just need to accumulate a few points.
Yeah, you just need points. Yeah, survive in advance.
Score update. Nate, you are at 13. Chris, you are at 8. So there is an opportunity here. So, final round here. We are going to bid on, our player is going to be Jaheim Bell, tight end out of South Carolina.
You know, you messed up not doing Brew McCoy, but we can save that for another episode.
Went a little too late in drafts. I feel like it'd be too hard.
It'd be like, 417. Jaheim Bell. That's an interesting one.
What are you guys' thoughts on Jaheim Bell? Because again, like I've seen people are high on him at the beginning. People have kind of cooled down a little bit, it looks like.
I mean, Go ahead, Nate. It seems like you probably have a better. grasp of it than
I'm
me.
pretty opinionated on Jaheim Bell. I think he's somebody I was totally off of, and then in the spring, the staff said that he could be Debo Samuel type of use, and I all of a sudden jumped totally back in on him. And when a coach says that, I'm like, okay, holy crap! If we're talking about a tight end that's going to be used in a variety of ways like that, that's exactly what I want out of my tight end. I want them
Exactly.
The problem is that they should pass more, but they also adding Rucker, adding Wells, adding Stogner. I mean, they added a lot more pieces. But like I said, he is the antithesis of
What you're looking for.
Of Brent Keithy being so rock solid, and you just know he's going to finish somewhere between 12 and 15. Jaheim Bell is the type that could finish top 5 or he could finish outside of the top 20. So he's a lot more volatile of stock in my mind.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think like his talent is there. Like I think he's a good tight end, but then they brought in so many guys, one of which was Rattler, which is always great for a tight end, right? Like a good quarterback, nothing crazy.
But they also brought in Rattler's tight end.
They brought in his Rattler's tight end. But what my butt there was for him is that he's so like you watched the bowl game from last year. He's so versatile. He's like he runs so well that like this feels like what you said earlier is the perfect. Because I almost asked you earlier, like give me like who's the guy you're looking at? That's like what you're saying, and this feels exactly like that guy.
Oh yeah.
So, all right, I need to put my number in.
I'm still waiting on a number from you, Chris. Stop stalling. Alrighty. Well, this is gonna be close. Hold on, I gotta do some math here. Give me
I was hoping that by chance Nate and I said the same number.
No. Y'all are off in the opposite directions, but I don't because like y'all, it's in the middle of y'all. So give me a second.
It's like what 102, and Nate said like 93. And I said 111. I said 111.
I said 123.
Oh well, I figured if Laporta is like 128, then
this wasn't as close as I thought it was initially. But even so, Chris, you said 111. Nate, you said 123. The ADP of Jaheim Bell in June of 2020 was 118.4. So, Nate, you are closer. You were 4.8 off. Chris, you were 7.4 off. So you are not both of you very close, but I actually had to pull.
I was going to say I feel there's some respect. Like I feel like I get some street cred still.
Yeah,
even if I didn't win. Like that's really close.
That is very close. Y'all have both been kind of nailing those. So, except for Chris, I think on the what was it?
Nair, you know what? I want to be wrong on that one. That's all I'm going to say.
Alrighty. We'll move on to our final game, probably one of the most popular ones for The Price is Right. We have cliffhangers here, and how this is going to work is you have 4 players here, Nate. It is basically what we've been doing with the bidding rounds, but we're going to accumulate into 4 players. You have to guess the ADP of 4 players, and if how far you are off is less than 50, you will earn points. If it grows greater than 50, you will earn 0 points. And if you are between 40 and 50, you will get 2 points. Sound good?
Okay.
Are you doing the singing?
I was going to say, who's doing the yodeling type?
This is
definitely Chris because he lost the bidding.
I only have one thing I have to sing, and that's if Ja'Cory Brooks does worse than JoJo Earl. So I'm going to save that for the viewers. Okay. By the way, great job, Jared. This is a classic. I was thinking to myself, I have no idea how he incorporates this, but like I hope he does. You nailed it. Great job.
Plinko and cliffhangers. Yeah, those are 2 that I immediately thought of, and I'm like, all right, we got to get those in here somehow. So, Nate, your first player that you need to guess, and you can say it out loud so I can do, because you don't need to be secret on this one. Gyro Brock, running back out of Iowa State.
Okay. Let's see. I will say he is. This is overall ADP, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will say he is 71. Gosh, that seems low. Okay, but I'm gonna stick with
I would have said 66. That was in my head, 66.
Okay, good.
So
That makes me feel better then.
Alrighty. I will be moving the yodeler.
You need to step that up, man.
All right, you were off by about 13 on that one, Nate. His ADP is currently 58.0. It's dropping as far as I can tell, but
you could have done Brock for me, man. Why did you have to hold that one in the pocket?
I thought maybe the Norton fan base would be pushing Brock down some. So okay, all right.
So let me grab the next one for you here, Nate, and that is going to be Miles Price, wide receiver out of Texas Tech.
Okay. I will say he is. Let's see.
Also, I just realized I made a mistake on the sheet here, so go ahead and talk through it, and I will get you a new guy in the next one. Give me a second.
He seems to go. Gosh, in the sharp leagues that we do, it feels like he's right around the turn as it comes back. So like right in that round 2-3 range is where it feels like he ends up. And I will say he goes a little bit later than that ADP wise. So I will say, let's see, it's 24 plus a few more. So I will say his overall ADP is 28.
28?
He goes, Jared was talking about him the other day on the last week's, I think. And I think he's like in the sharp leagues, he's mid second.
Oh, okay.
And I think in the others, I would have said like 23, 24.
Okay.
All right. So Nate, you said 28. Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Better singing, please.
Is that better for y'all? Is that better for you guys? So
is that it? Is that all?
That's it. You were off by one.
Yeah.
So Miles Price's ADP was at 29.4 last year, so I rounded that down to 1. So you moved him up 1. So
very nice.
Alrighty, your next player here, Nate. This one's a little harder. Going a little deeper here. Kanata Mumfield, wide receiver out of Pittsburgh.
Okay, he was actually just taken in one of the eliminator drafts we're in right now. So and I want to say that was around round 10. So I will say 126.
126 is your guess. Let me go ahead and yodel my way up.
What a
31
wow.
You're at. So you were up by 17 on that one. His ADP, you said 126. His ADP was 109.0.
Okay.
And so now
So I got to get within how many? This
you have 19 spots left for the final two, right?
Oh, there's 2 more.
Yes. So yes, he is. As long as he is not off by, 19 in the last 2, he will be good to go.
I hope you get another one like Miles Price.
Yeah,
That's almost impossible.
That Mumfield one was. I could have been off by like 100.
Alrighty, Nate. We're gonna go Aiden O'Connell, quarterback out of Purdue.
Gosh.
Yeah, that's a tough one, Jared.
Okay. Trying to picture drafts that Andrew's not in. So I feel like he's kind of in that like round 9 range. Maybe that's a little high. I'll play it safe. I'll say round 8. So let's go 80.
I would have said like 90.
Alrighty.
We were both on the same page. Oh, he's going over.
Oh,
you were off by 8.
Okay.
So
is it 72 or 88?
He was 88.4.
Okay.
So,
Dang.
Nate, your final player is going to be, and you have, if I count here correctly, 11 spots.
Okay.
So as long as you're within 11, you will earn. If you nail it, you get all 5 points. But as long as you're within 11, you're likely going to get 2 points out of this.
Okay.
So, Nate, your final player is Nicholas Singleton, running back out of Penn State.
Wow.
Does the summa cum laude?
I was just gonna say
where John took him like in round 5 or something like that.
No, that was not part of June ADP as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Crap. Let's see here. I feel like it's like a round 9 type guy. Okay, so I will say 80. No.
This is a really tough one.
Let's go right at 100.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the math on that one. You ready for this?
Oh, come on.
What is it?
64.2.
Shut
Holy
up.
smokes. I would have said like 105. Yeah.
No, he is going in like the 5th, 6th round. I'm telling people, y'all, like in redraft, calm down on Singleton. I love him, but like calm down. This isn't
Set me
Travion
up for
Henderson from last
failure.
year.
My guy was going off the belt no matter what. Yeah, I could have had one guess.
That was tough.
So, Nate,
that was
0
tough.
points on that one. Alrighty, Chris, it is your turn. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, let's do it.
Your first player is your favorite, Cameron Ward, quarterback out of Washington State.
And this is what people think, right?
This is what people think, not what you think.
Well, I think people put him in the 4th, 5th round, right? So like 48 to 60. Let's say 51.
51. Alrighty. 11. You were 11 off. His ADP currently is 62.6.
Yeah. Okay.
So, alrighty. Next one here is Jalen Cropper, wide receiver out of Fresno State.
Okay. I mean, he's like an end of 3rd, early 4th guy, right? Maybe mid 4th. So it's like, we'll say 41.
41?
That feels a little bit too early, but yeah, 41.
You are at 16. You were off by 5. So Jalen Cropper's currently ADP is 36.2. So you nailed the right at the end of the 3rd, beginning of the 4th.
Oh, wow. I thought it might have gone the other way, but I'm very happy about that.
Alrighty. Are you ready for your next one?
Let's do it.
Colin Schlee, quarterback out of Kent State.
Oh, good old Colin Schlee. I mean, he's like, I feel like he's taken before Aiden O'Connell. He was 88. I would say maybe 72. That puts him, no, we'll say 78. That puts him at like the mid 7th, I think. So 78.
Yeah, I'd have guessed in the mid 70s.
Oof.
It's that bad, huh? Where is he being taken?
119.5.
Shut up.
119.5.
Yeah, I think we in the CFF industry have scared enough people off with those first 4 weeks to where he's people were just off.
Man.
And also people don't know who he is because again, he didn't play last year. But yeah.
So,
he is,
okay, just to recap here, Nick Singleton is going
65th.
like 7 rounds. No, like 6 rounds higher than Colin Schlee.
Yes.
Okay.
This is
Wow.
correct.
Okay.
Wait, actually.
Oh, you gotta educate.
Hold on. I made a mistake. I looked at the wrong ADP. I don't think you've come off here, but you're darn close. You're at 40,
so you're saying I have a chance.
You have a chance. You just have to nail the next 2. So you're at 46.
I said
his true ADP is 113.2. I wrote down the wrong number. I just double checked.
So what
He's
am I
still
like
going
48?
way too late, but still. What was that, Chris?
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, what it was like I'm at like 48 right now, so I have like 2 to give.
Yeah, you're at 46 right now.
Okay.
So
There we go. 2 per,
if
right?
you get-
I'm
two-
petitioning
if
for
your
a
results-
recount. We need a recount here. Something fishy is going on.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Chris, your next player, staying with the Kent State mold, Marquez Cooper, running back out of Kent State.
I mean, that feels like an 8th rounder to me, but I have to then think I'm thinking about drafts that are like all the CFF guys. So maybe move it down 20 picks. So 115. I would take him in the 8th, 9th, but I want to say 115, which puts him at like 10
Chris, you had an extra chance and you blew it.
What is it though? Is that
you nailed it with your initial gut feeling? 93.6
like 90s?
is his
Dang.
current ADP. So
I doubted the public. And it's my fault.
20 away, immediately goes off the cliff there.
That's fine. I just made it easy on you. Who's the last one? Out of curiosity.
Last one, you would have had Mac Hippenhammer.
I love me some Mac Hippenhammer. Like what, 78, 79?
You were very close on that one, 72.8. So would have been very, very
It wouldn't
close.
have mattered.
So with a final score, unless Chris,
13-8. Nate's too good, man. You
Nate,
paired me up with
you
one of the best in
win.
the industry, man. Why you set me up for failure, Jared?
I mean, you're one of the best in the industry now. You got your own
I'm
show.
gonna go-
That automatically makes
I'm gonna go
that-
talk to the producer.
So, Nate, you have won 13-8. Yeah, great job, y'all. Y'all did really, really
Solid.
good on this.
I played solid defense towards the end.
You did. You took a commanding lead and then said, "Nope, I'm
Yeah.
not going to let you come back."
I
So-
pulled I stalled out towards the end there. I pulled a Dean Smith 4 corners offense and just dribbled out the clock.
There you go. So yeah, that's our last round and everything, boys. This was a ton of fun. Chris, we have a little bit of time. Do you want to play a round of any number just for the heck of it?
I mean, we can pump it out real quick. Why
Yeah,
not, right?
let's do
The
it.
people want it. The people want it.
So
Until you give me some crazy Okay.
So
Okay.
Chris,
Okay.
your 3 players for any number now are Spencer Rattler, Tyrese Chambers, and Nathaniel Pete. So again, you pick a number 0 through 9, and you just want to get one of the other ones here. You can't win, unfortunately, but you can get closer
That's
to
fine.
names with this.
I'll say give me 1. I don't know
Start off
if
with a
Rattler's
1.
in the
That's
hundreds.
down there in
Yeah.
Nathaniel Pete.
Give me 2. There's no way. Yeah.
So,
Okay. So I think Chambers is in the 30s, and I think Pete's in the 60s, 70s. So give me 5, please.
5.
I think
That is
think
one of the
Chambers-
numbers for Tyrese Chambers. So you got one number for each person.
Chambers has to be what, 45 or 35?
I bet it's higher.
You think so?
Yeah. In drafts that Andrew and I are not in, he goes way lower.
Oh,
I feel
no.
like he and I are the only ones taking him.
Okay, I think
To be fair, Nate,
think
you're not in a
9's a
lot of my
safe
drafts
number.
for this ADP, so
9's a safe number. So give me 9, please.
9. Down there with Nathaniel
Oh boy.
Pete.
Okay, it's got to be 8 then. Like, there's no way Pete's 81.9.
Nope, but Tyrese Chambers is 85.
85?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, well now this reverses everything. I thought they were there's no way Pete's in the 40s. It's the decimal that's going to get me though. Give me 3, please.
Giving you 3. You have the decimal for Spencer Rattler.
4.
0 should be your guess if you want to earn points here.
I would say currently you have 2 something 4.3 for
This
Spencer
Nathaniel
Rattler,
Pete is
85
not-
point something for Tyrese
Yeah, Pete's
Chambers.
not going 1.9.
But
But I got to go. I'm going for the 3, so
That'd be really funny if
could
I just would
double
put
dip.
0 1 point something.
Okay, so what is it? 6 and 7 and 0 are left. So
Yes.
I mean, it's got to be Rattler's got to be 264 or 274. The question is which one. Pete is got to be 71.9. So I'm going to say dang, this is so tough between, is it 204 or 264? It's such a difference. 264 is what?
That would be past the 20th round.
Like, yeah. And then 204 would put him in like the 18 round type thing. 15, 16, 17.
It would
I'll say 0. I'll say 0.
Got it.
Yeah.
So there's the 3 points.
I don't know. Rattlers. By the way, last year we were drafting Rattler, top 10 in DJU, top 10, and now they're like just people you feel bad about taking.
That just shows the power of system in college fantasy. You take two guys that you thought were in good systems, and then the very next year you suddenly don't look at those systems the same way, and you don't want them anymore.
Yeah,
I think
Nate, you're the expert
will be this year.
Hopefully not, but Nate, you're the expert. Is Rattler actually good, or is it a bad situation, or is revival in South Carolina with a Beamer? What do we think Rattler's going to do? Real quick, I'm sorry, Jared, I'm stealing.
No, all good.
I think he's talented. I mean, the arm talent is definitely there. The problem is if you can't succeed in Lincoln Riley's offense as quarterback, I don't have a lot of faith that you're going to succeed in. I forget the OC there at South Carolina.
I don't even remember.
Moxley
wrote up that one.
Anyways, I just don't have a lot of. He hasn't proven anything as far as a play caller. So, I mean, it's just, and he is well known around Norman as somebody that isn't huge on putting in the work to improve his ability. And so I just question but I mean, this could be a big wake up call for him. He's got a chip on his shoulder now. He's got something to prove. So, but yeah, I mean, I just, if you can't do it at OU under Lincoln Riley, I just don't have a ton of confidence you're going to be able to do it at South Carolina.
Yeah, it's a great point. Lincoln Riley's just pumped out dudes.
Right.
He did.
Yeah, one right after the other.
So.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of our show. Again, boys, y'all did fantastic today. This was a ton of fun for me to host. I hope you guys had just as much fun competing against each other. It's been absolutely fun. For those of you who are listening and everything, let me know if this is something you want to see more of in terms of like off-season content and everything like that. Like we could definitely it's probably a little late in this off-season to bring it back one more time before the season starts, but like next off-season we can definitely be doing stuff like this again more often. Again, I definitely had a ton of fun, and let me know who you want to see paired up against each other. Again, I did Chris and Nate because then it's a little CTN versus BTR here, and also these two knuckleheads constantly go at it in the Slack. I figured it'd be fun to put them against each other. And again, fun stuff, just talk about different people and different values and everything. Just a reminder before we go, again, if you're listening to us on podcasts, make sure you are following us wherever you are. Leave 5-star reviews, all that good jazz. Watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. I just now realized as I'm saying this, I never said this at the beginning. But again, check out all the other stuff at campus2canton.com. Got a whole slew of college podcasts for you guys to listen to. Again, you got us, Chase and Natty, on Mondays for CFF content. You got the Campus Live podcast is taking over Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're going through a conference preview series. Absolutely check those out with Austin and Colin. They're doing a great job. Devy Debate, as always, Wednesday nights, live streamed on YouTube with Felix Sharp, Matt Bruning, Austin Nace, and Chris Moxley. On Fridays, currently on hiatus, but you'll see the Future Freshman podcast come back here pretty soon, going with 2023 guys. And before we go, Nate and Chris, I'll give you guys some opportunity to plug in your stuff. So Chris, we'll start with you. What do you want to plug here?
Yeah, I mean, we just obviously C2C here in the fall, and then right now me and Andrew and Zach Tao, we do Burning the Red Shirt podcast. We're typically Monday night, Tuesday night type of thing. A little bit different than everybody else, but still pumping out college content, just trying to have a good time and joke about what everybody thinks and their opinions and have a good time with it. So yeah, Burning the Red Shirt, BTR_pod if you haven't checked us out for sure.
And check out their Discord. Zach's been doing an incredible job putting together that Discord, making a great community over there. So if you haven't already, I'm pretty sure it's one of y'all's pinned tweets on your account. Should be a link there relatively soon. Just hop on into the Discord. It's a good time. Nate, what are you working on, sir? What can you get the people excited about?
Well, obviously you can find me on Twitter at CFF Nate. But right now I'm just kind of gearing up with a number of dynasty leagues, keeper leagues, and stuff like that. We're kind of in the draft season at this point, so I'm going to try to put out a couple more articles before the season kicks off. But I mean, other than that, if you like my work, support us by purchasing the CFF guide.
Oh yes,
I think like I said, like we talked about earlier, lots of valuable information in there, and then the Impact Freshman 50. I think if you like my work, then you'll probably enjoy that portion of the CFF guide as well.
Yeah, absolutely go get that CFF guide. I really can't tell you guys enough. First of all, just how many hours of hard work and love went into that thing. But also, I can also guarantee you that most of your league mates, they'll have a copy by the time fall comes around. And so you don't want to be behind all those guys. And you want to make sure you have all the information that they have in that guide. So absolutely go get it. Again, $20, one of the best deals you can get this entire offseason. So with that, again, really appreciate both of you guys for coming on here. It's been a ton of fun. And all of you guys out there for listening. Again, let me know if you want to see more of this kind of stuff going forward. With that being said, let me find the outro page here. There we go. And y'all have a wonderful and blessed day. See y'all.